That's all we do. We use the documents and can't pick and choose.
Have you guys made a decision on like what size trees that
Excuse me?
what size, like on a gallon?
What we're gonna, the people who don't have trees will.
It's a difference out of pocket to somebody for like $100 to $5,000.
Absolutely.
It's in the documents for each HOA.
Yeah, you're talking about for the original plan. 4-inch, so the document stipulated a minimum 4-inch caliper, Rob's saying. So like I said, we'll get with the vendor. I think it's 30 gallon. For hot trees. Yeah, we won't. Yeah. Well, the caliper tree is stipulated. We'll when we get with the vendor, we'll see what they cost. And yeah,
I've got one in my yard, so I don't really. Someone can have to pay. I mean, that's a big difference depending on what size tree.
oh, absolutely. I mean, I put oak trees in to bring my lot into compliance, the corner lot, and I ended up paying like $90 a piece for them. So they were about that big around. Yeah. What's that? At the sod place at the 103rd. That was 4 years ago, and so there's still a lot. So
Pat's is in a really good spot to source good pricing as well. They'll do a good bulk buy for you.
Where is that?
Pat's Nursery over on 7th.
Oh, Pat's. Yeah, Pat's. I work.
They're fantastic.
So, like I said, we'll figure So we'll figure something out, and like I said, just if you or your neighbor get one of those, that's where we're going with that. The next item of business on the agenda was the ARB. Said we had the one push. It's a driveway. And Sherry, your recommendation was?
To let it be sent to, on the right-hand side, toward the sidewalk line, stand possibly what you can send.
Okay.
But not posted.
I agree. Rob, you agree with that? So we're extending to the outside. Because that's, okay.
They put two options there, so they can choose their option one.
Okay, I go ahead and make a motion that we accept the recommendation from Kingdom that we only extend the driveway to the right side and don't allow the left side.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? So we're going to pass that back down, approved for the right expansion. Any other ARB?
No, we all.
And the ARB meeting, if you ever do have an issue, they meet at 5:30 before us, again composed of all residents. And like I said, as you were saying, if your tree became an issue, come in. They're reasonable residents, and you got our residents deciding what's going to happen as far as the ARB. Anytime there's a disagreement, then it's passed up to the board, and then we'll make the final decision. Okay, next item of business, item number 7, is the database. Pictures.
Come along. Should have those in this month. And then we should have all the data for the houses, property side, and house type, property type, and the trees. Fences.
You tried to do any searches?
It's just like this.
Okay, so. Sherry, if you what's that? And we have all the ARB submissions are loaded up to that. And the, now, are you attaching the call log? You're not attaching the calls log, so.
I don't know.
But-
I'm starting that process and seeing if they like it, if they utilize it.
Well, calls come,
It's kind of nice the way we're doing it, John, because I try to close them real quick, pretty much in 24 hours. And so that list is right there.
Yeah.
It's part of our outlook, and we're just always skimming through it. So, but regarding ARVs, they also were scanned from the prior company.
so we now have a full history on every
Yes,
property.
everything. Approved or denied. It's voted.
I don't think about that with the phone calls. Because that would attach to the property it's called on, not the caller. That would be a good history to have. Yeah, you know, because over the years, it was, I can see where it could be a problem. Anything else? So we're actively doing that. This will be fired up. You try one on that?
I don't know.
Just, it's really a great tool now that we have this. So I was looking at a property disaster one, went to the database, put in the address, brought it right up, could see that it was noted as a disaster. There was already a resawed notice on it, and I didn't have to talk to Sherry at all. There was a bunch of garbage around, so I called and had some people come pick the garbage up. It's really, it's going to be a valuable tool. So again, like always, I encourage you to just drive through it, and if you see something you don't like, give a call. What's that? What's that? Oh, you mean right now? Oh, yeah, I mean, as I always say in the newsletter, if you ever see anything you don't like, please call the management. I get this every month. This is every call in the kingdom. It's logged. You don't need to leave your name. Your name's not important, but obviously the property it attaches to is the important part. And I review this, and the board members review this. Tom, for security things, gets a copy. So if he sees something that he thinks the Clay County officers can deal with, he takes those for action. And basically, it's just a way that the board is kind of keeps in touch with the calls coming in. So like I said, if you see something, report it. Don't worry about leaving your name. We can only fix what we know about. And if it doesn't get fixed, keep on calling. Just got that disaster neighbor, and you're not getting the answer you want, just call again. They're just answering, 9 to 5, someone's always answering the phone there. Call will be recorded, and if I see something building here, we'll become aware of it. And what's that like? Yeah, like the intersection. That's how the intersection came through calls, and so we got a pretty good system to get it to who can handle the problem. So we're not living in a police state or whatever, but everybody deserves a great looking neighborhood. So if you have a garbage, bad renters or whatever, renters with a landlord are the people that we have the most power over, because the landlord wants to make money. He has a profit motive. And if they're not maintaining their lawn or doing, trash cans, and we can go right to the landlord and hopefully get something done. So keep the calls coming in. This time of year, there's not as many calls because the lawns are kind of calmed down, but we average. What did we average last year? We had over 1,000.
Yeah, definitely.
So we had over 1,000 calls come in, all recorded, and it's just really good that residents are calling. Yeah. So Sherry was saying that a lot of times some of these foreclosures, everything gets moved to the curb. It's there for a day or two. If we hear about that, we'll bring in our own people to get it off to the dump. So like I say, anything unsightly, If you can't correct it at the lowest level possible by conversation with a neighbor, or you don't want to, just give a call. Mailboxes are a big pet peeve of mine, so whenever I drive through, if I see a mailbox with something hanging off or whatever, we'll get a letter out to them. If they don't fix it in 3 days, we have a boatload of mailboxes, we'll get it fixed. So, see anything, report it.
John,
Yes,
how do you
ma'am.
go about getting replacement mailboxes? My neighbors fell off and he was trying to rig it up and didn't know how to get it.
There's two components to the mailbox. There's the post with all the welding stuff on it.
His is a double and it's actually the box that's on the top that the
Yeah.
mail lady actually said she knocked it off.
So if that bracket that the mailbox is screwed into broke, then you're going to either have to get somebody that can weld aluminum to fix that, or you're going to have to purchase a whole new post. All the instructions are on the website, and what we've done in the past is, as a matter of fairness, if your neighbor's gets knocked off in a double post, and of course the whole post has to be replaced, what we'll do is the association will pick up half the price. So the person who's got knocked off has to pay it, but he's only paying half the price. The other one's going to get a new post. As far as the mailbox itself, the actual mailbox, last time I priced them at Home Depot, they're about, I think, $14.
So that you can buy there if you need to.
$16. Yeah, $16, and you can change them. There's 4 screws. So you can change it in 5 minutes with a screwdriver. 4 screws comes out. So again, there's no reason to put up with a door hanging off or something. But with the post damage, it gets a little more expensive. And then I'd have to check the website what the current prices are.
Okay.
Do you know the current price? It's $200.
Yeah, they're just 200.
Yeah.
And we have some installed $50
Yeah, so the association can do all that for you. They're 200 plus just in parts, and then if you want the association to do, we can do it for $50.
Thank you.
Okay, so anything else on the database? So we'll just keep on moving forward with that. And you think we'll be done with that? Okay. Living magazines, next item. Luckily, we have Linda here, our editor.
You just keep plugging along. Anybody who has anything to put in the Living magazine, the information is on the first or second page. Just email it to oakleafliving@gmail.com.
In the Living magazine, we submit an article. I submit the board letter. I make that letter, but we're not Linda was originally a board member when we started up that, but we just submit an article. So anybody can submit an article. Linda submits whatever we put in, but anybody who has something that they think that has something to do with Oakleaf and you want to get it out there, submit it to Linda, and she'll either publish it or she'll come back and tweak it with you and get it published. So
Is that something out of our budget, or is that something?
We pay nothing for that.
Okay.
We
How?
pay nothing for that.
how is that-
Times Union is the group that publishes it. Okay, they do the layout, they do the delivery. We don't pay a dime. All of the advertising is what pays for the magazine.
Does it go through us, or does it go directly through the Times Union?
What?
The income and expenses in and out, the
Oh,
advertising?
no money comes through
Okay.
our hand.
Thank you.
yeah, so again, anybody can submit to that, and we've tried in the past to get maybe an Oakleaf gardener, or if you have something that you think you're an expert at, or you can become the Oakleaf expert. So that they'll what is there a page limit on it, or is it common?
Just a few times I have been told that this particular article or, something has to be cut, but not very often. I can count on one hand in how many years that we've had to cut an article because there haven't been. The rule of thumb is 50% advertisement and 50% articles. And if you notice, January was real skinny because that's what happens, in January. We're hoping that next month, March is going to be better because the schools are back on track and things are going on. And now with with our new manager here, he's in touch a lot with things that are going on.
Okay, and I had a question that, did you understand that question I asked you? I wanted to pass on. My question was, and I imagine some people feel the same way. We put these things in the driveway, we do. But there's also, I think, at least 2 other publications that throw them in the driveway too. And that usually makes for a pretty messy couple days. So I pulled one of those, and lo and behold, it's also the Times Union. So I think the Times Union has 3 different products coming into our neighborhood. So I think they kind of dilute ours. So you can just ask them.
I mean, I don't know if I can, I'll do what I can,
Yeah,
you know, I'll take that from you and I'll do what I can.
just ask
I
them.
myself,
Oh, I understand.
I don't get all that stuff. I only get, because my house is so far back in the subdivision, they don't even come that far.
This one is value, and there's another claim one.
It's like a barbell one.
Yeah,
Hey,
it'd
Linda,
be interesting to see what they say.
do you actually get a subscription to the Times Union though?
I do.
Okay, because we don't and we get those. So maybe they just send them out to the people who don't subscribe to the Times Union.
Oh, the
So
other.
maybe they're just
I
targeting
guess
the
I do
houses that
that.
don't actually subscribe.
Oh, you
And
don't-
most of that stuff is advertising.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's all
Yes.
advertising. It's like the sales circulars that,
It's called value, I think.
yeah.
Yeah.
See, maybe that's why I don't get it, I don't know.
Yeah. It'd be interesting to see what they say. Anything else?
Keep plugging on.
Yeah. Linda does a tremendous job. I mean, this newsletter, she has been the power and the source behind that. So, I mean, I really thank you a lot.
You send the stuff to me and I send it on. Honestly, okay, and I just kind of keep up with it. And I try to encourage some people to put some stuff in, and anybody I meet somewhere, I go, do you get the living? Do you enjoy reading it? You know, I try to get, again, the schools have to send me stuff. I don't go looking for stuff at the schools, but they all have access to it.
Okay, well, like I said, thanks a lot. And Linda, like I said, was on the board, is no longer on the board. Please, if you want to write something, get with her and get it in that magazine. So, item number 9, owner's comments, as time permits. So, I don't know if we're all here for one issue. What I will do is I'll recognize you with a raised hand and ask you what your issue is, and then we'll proceed like that. So, first of all, does any board have any more on the items we're going to cover? So, owner's comments by raised hand. Sir.
Maybe I would help expedite this process. There's a group of us that have come up with about 5 questions that could maybe answer a lot of people's questions. So without objection, if I could present those on behalf of, not everyone, but there are some of us that have already kind of come together with our
Okay.
businesses. Is that appropriate?
Yeah, can you state your name?
Certainly, I'll step up.
Okay. And I'll just take your word for it. You're an Oakleaf resident and you're in good standing with the association.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
My name's Sean Hatton. I live in Timberfield. And I've been here coming up on 10 years this July. So, let me just tell you about my week. Last Monday, a friend on Facebook had put a posting out that she was looking at a pretty hefty fine, around $2,000, I believe. But at the time, I don't think she even had a number. But through the course of events, other people had said they were looking at multiple $1,000 penalties, legal filings, et cetera, all on a delinquent homeowner's assessment for $60. And my question, first of all, is what is your all step-by-step process on appealing to determine these fees? And I guess that would be a good place to start. If you all could, and I know there's probably in the bylaws somewhere, my bylaws are probably the old ones, they may have been revised since then.
No, the bylaws are still the bylaws.
Okay. So if you all could kind of walk us through that, I would appreciate it.
You want to do that, Sherry?
I can. The association, we handed over to attorneys, so we don't set the fee structure. It's per Florida statutes, the attorneys have to charge within Florida statutes.
Yeah, well, here, let's go, I want to go from.
From how you bill it.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
right.
On
That's how you
November, on November 1st, a bill goes out for $60 for the association.
Allegedly.
All right, so-
Yeah, you get your annual, before the
What's
first,
the
you get your
latest
$60 invoice.
The bill goes out allegedly.
And
And
then
the bills go out.
No, she said she believe it was,
That's what we're here to find out.
Okay, everybody, let's answer this question first. So we're gonna go step through the process that's used, and as we go through that steps, you're gonna hear how the fines and fees start adding on. So
Thank you.
So first, the database is formed by Kingdom, and I have 2,122 entries. And so that database is formed, we give them a current owner's list, property address, their mailing address, and everyone starts off with $60. We bill everybody $60. That's your assessment. That list is sent to BB&T Bank, and they then print and mail out all invoices. And they send out the first invoice, so it comes directly from the bank, and it has directions, and we request that that payment go directly back to the bank in Orlando, made out to Oakleaf Plantation. And so that hits in the month of December. Then and that's due January 1st, late after the 31st, and that gives you the time frame and your interest on that coupon, we call them coupon. Then February 1st, we start combing through the list, which we started on Friday, and we sent out a very small stack on Friday. Anyone that still has not paid in the computer, we internally generate a invoice. So now they're getting a second piece of mail. And I know today another stack went out for Oakleaf. Oakleaf takes a good 3 or 4 days to process it. We have to go through it line by line. And we send that out. Now, if they're in collections, we're not to invoice them again. They have to keep all their communications with the attorney, so they only got that BB&T invoice.
So you send out the second invoice and cut off communications with all residents, correct? Is that, you
Yeah,
send it to the attorney?
We haven't got to that yet.
That's what she just said.
No, she said if you're already in collections for another matter, you won't get her second follow-up for this specific reminder. So it's
2 years ago,
it's
you're already in
it's
collections.
a really dynamic
Oh, I
path
see.
depending on,
I see.
there's a lot of tasks that this will take over that bill.
So in February, people are hearing second time on a $60 invoice. And
from a
then,
different source.
Right, and that might be some of the confusion. One is from BT, and we want to resolve all. We want to
Yeah.
get it first.
second notice
Okay.
Kingdom.
Now,
and then,
does your notice by chance have a late fee attached or a history of a past due balance from the previous year possibly?
I asked her that specifically because I have a credit, because I don't want to bother with this, so I just pay years at a time. So I get one for 60, I've got a credit, it doesn't show that. She said, no, it wouldn't show credit, and no, it wouldn't show any past history, so it's just
it's
60.
an invoice for that
$60
$60.
to everybody.
Yeah,
So that's
if
our
it's still in the
first.
computer, it gets nicked and gets kicked out, that has been paid. And interest has been added. So we're just looking at 2013. That's the invoice for 2013. So that goes out in the month of February. And then when March 1st hits, as a director from the association, they're now 60 days past due, and then those are all sent to a collections attorney. And so then he gets it, he goes through the ledgers, we have to give him everything, all the history on that property, and then he starts to send out his notices.
And
So that before a certified letter comes out, in the event that the first two, for whatever reason, didn't make it, it's already been sent to collections before that process ever occurs.
The first certified letter you're getting is from the attorney.
The only certified letter you get is from the attorney.
At the association, for your $60, we do not send anything out certified.
Yeah.
Right, but for your $600, you certainly do.
So
So my question to you is, when did this bank involvement become, what, is this new, or is this something that's always been done?
no, this has been how we've collected
Since the
yeah,
inception?
since '09.
Since hiring you?
Since,
Since hiring Kingdom?
Since bringing Kingdom management?
Yeah, this is how Kingdom Management collects the dues.
So there's,
I've never heard of any company that if you owe something, it doesn't show a balance forward, what they're billing for now, any payments made. I don't understand that as an accountant.
We should.
Which you should.
You should open invoices.
Yeah.
Are they saying that it's still being already?
Well, it's things that you get from medical.
So I think it's fair to say at this point, if I may, at this point where we are now, is we get a initial invoice from BB&T acting as your vendor. To
So
supply
that-
us with a $60 for you.
But it says it says Oakleaf.
That's a Dropbox, that's.
And that's when it goes to Orlando, the PO box to Orlando.
People, for 2,000 people deposited in one
Yes,
anonymous.
So January 31, or the next business day after, you match that up with the list anyone that has not paid, and then you send the second invoice from Kingdom Management, and that includes a late fee.
It includes late interest. I don't think your association has a late fee. You have
$2,
interest.
Whatever it is.
What is the interest
Okay.
now?
But it doesn't say second notice.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it'll give you the date that if this is not paid by March 1st, that's in the template. This will be forwarded to a collections attorney. So there's a template. The template is personalized for your neighborhood.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the other envelope, does that show from Kingdom Management, or is it just a PO box?
No, it's Kingdom Management.
Okay, so that's it here.
Yeah.
I'm
And then
sorry, I
at the
got a lot of mail, and,
Yeah,
you know, my wife handles the bills,
bills.
that sort of
I
thing.
should send them all.
And then-
Yeah, but it's just the letter from you guys that has a return address that says Kingdom Management, right? The letter originally from BBT has just a PO
The
box.
invoice
Correct.
says to go ahead again, when you open it up, you see your invoice, you owe money. Again, it says mail this to, and it gives you again the PO box in Orlando.
Yeah,
So
but
we're
I'm
driving
saying on the
everything
outside of the
to the bank.
letter,
Right, that looks
on the
Yeah.
envelope.
pretty.
The envelope.
On the envelope.
Yeah.
So it can't be mistaken for junk mail.
Yes, it can.
And that may be, that may be the case, but also remember that 2,000 people were able to do this. I mean, 2,000 people pay. I'm not saying we will take your inputs and we'll make this better, but at the same time, 2,000 people were able to do it.
2,000 people got it. Obviously, some of us still we did not.
Yeah.
So is
There were
there a percentage
117
margin for
people
error?
sent.
Was this the first year this has happened? Have you been here more than 1 year?
My
This is the
son
first year you have it happened?
Okay, if we, sir, you had a question back here?
Yeah, I just want to make clear about the in collections where they won't send the late notice
If,
from King. So the late notice comes from Kingdom Management if they're
What
not in
establishes,
collections,
yeah,
right?
what establishes
What
the
if
fact
they're-
that elections?
Right, so what if they were current, say, in 2012, they're current in 2012, but they missed the 2011 payment?
so so Sherry, so you have a property that never paid in 2011. So what would be different between any other
Well,
property?
he would have heard from the attorney who starting in March from 2011, he would have been in correspondence through certified letters from the attorney. And they log every communications that goes out and every phone call that comes in. So all their communications.
Sorry,
Yeah, They
did I
keep
do
very
that?
tight records.
So that I understand, the bill goes out, you shoot for November, but it's December, and that's when BB&T is due. If by January 31, that's not received, next business day, that's bumped up against.
Yeah,
The
sorry.
second invoice goes out,
Second
second
invoice.
notice from Kingdom Management.
Now, that BB&T envelope, in the return, it says Oakleaf Plantation, and then it will say BB&T, because the return mail comes back to us. So it is identified as belonging, there's some kind of Oakleaf business. Because I get those return mail pile, and I can see what neighborhood.
Sure, I actually have a copy of one of
That's
that.
what shows in the return.
Yeah, it looks right.
Yeah, that's the first invoice.
Yeah, we call that a coupon. Yeah,
And this is from BB&T.
yeah, in
This is-
early December.
They want to split them all.
So, I tank it in the trash, with some other stuff, I miss it. You send me one in February. I get it, and it's due the end of this month, or you're going to go to an attorney, and it's like, well, we just got it in, in the beginning of, you missed March, you missed whatever, you missed March, and it goes to an attorney.
So now what has happened is.
I think this is where the price is really.
Yes, it does.
So Sean, you're being kind. I never received one. What about,
Okay.
I mean,
I'm just trying to get to understand how the process should work, and I think it'll, maybe work with
Yeah,
this.
so now, we instructed because the association obviously needs the funds to function. In the heat of the crisis, our income was going down. Yeah. Yeah, we wanted to be more paid.
At that point in 60 days, what does it go to?
So now at 60 days, we still haven't received payment.